So I'm back. So this is a very important video, a very, very important video. Um, I wanted to touch on, well, y'all see the name of the video, The Benefits of Being a Man. And this is very important because I know a lot of men, and as a man myself, of course, I know how it is out here in society. Like, I know that there's a lot of men out there that's depressed, that's going through it, that's stressed. Who we know most of the time as a man, no one cares about you. Like Chris Rock said, only women and children get loved unconditionally and get the benefit of the doubt. You as a man, don't nobody really care about men. That's why men commit suicide more than women do. Men get divorced. Women is always leaving us like 60, 70% of divorces is filed by women. And it's the same for relationships. If you didn't have a girlfriend, 9 times out of 10, she done broke up with you. Women leave relationships. So as a man, and then as a man, you just told just to get over it. So you know how hard that is. And then as a man, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing in life. Everything that you have, you're gonna have to work for. So we know that man, how hard it is for us and all of the stuff that we got to go through psychologically, and we got to control our emotions. And then a lot of us been raised in a single parent home to where we didn't have a father, so we didn't have nobody to teach us how to be a man. We just had to do it on our own. And then even if you did have a father in your life, you might have got to witness your father up and down, struggling and things like that. And then your father might even went through a divorce and you with your mom, but you don't understand it. But now that you older, you might understand what he had to go through. Cause 9 times out of 10, your mama left him regardless if he might have did something. Because every time a woman leaves a relationship, it's the man's fault. He cheated or he was bad, or it's never the woman's fault. And we know that society, the laws is in their favor. So I wanted to make this video to remind you the benefits of being a man and why you should be happy to be a man. Because me personally, I'm happy to be a man. I'm glad I wasn't born a woman. Honestly, if I had the choice, I would still want to be born a man. And I'm gonna give you some reasons why in a second. So, but yeah, so we know that men, we get beat down by society. We know that we commit suicide more than women do. We get left in relationships and then we don't get to see our kids. The woman get to take the kids away from us. No matter how much we love our kids, a woman can just wake up one day and say she's not happy and take your kids and half of your money. Like it's crazy the stuff that men has to go through. But I want you to remember a couple of things, and I'm gonna give a breakdown. But some of the benefits of being a man is age, which meaning that we have more time to get ourselves together and we have more time to be happy than women do. We know all about the saying of women hitting the wall and being on the clock, both biologically when it comes to having children and then physically when it comes to beauty, because we know that women are mostly judged by their beauty. As a man, we get better over time, versus women. Like women win in the beginning, men win in the end, but it's really only in your 20s is where women, got it going on. The world is their oyster. They getting whatever they want. But when it comes to 40, 50, 60, men, we have it better. Most of us know that. If you doing the work, of course, if you just, BSing and not improving in life, then yeah, you still gonna have it bad. But the average 40-year-old man and 50-year-old man gonna have it better than the 40, 50-year-old woman, which I'm gonna get into in a minute. Then also, men, we put in the work. That's what you got to know. Like, we don't have nothing handed to us. And it's a better feeling when you put in the work versus somebody handing it to you something. Like what happens with women. People just give women stuff. Man, if you have a house, everything that you got, that you had to work for. Unless, maybe you came from rich parents and, they just, spoiled you and stuff. But for the most part, the average man is everything that he has, he had to work for. Ain't nobody just giving them stuff like how people just give women, clothes, shoes, buy you a car. As a man, ain't nobody gonna buy you no car. You gonna have to do that on your own. And that's a better satisfaction knowing that, it's better to be rags from riches than to just be, you know, somebody who just had a silver spoon in their mouth. And then third, you got to remember, if you're religious, is that God made you first. Women came from a woman came from a man's rib, not the other way around. And God says the closest thing to him is a man. So if you're religious, you got to remember that God put us first. We came first. We the closest thing to God. God said that a woman has to find a man to even talk to him. And then next, um, what else? Oh, also is that we're not judged strictly, like as a man, you have more, like you're not judged strictly off of your beauty and strictly, and you're not wanted just because of sex. So as a woman, they know that most of their attention, everything gonna come down to how good they look. Like it's real superficial, and then they know that most dudes just want to sleep with them. They don't like them for them. As a man, you, even if you not attractive, you got other areas you can work on that'll still benefit you. You can still get money. You can still, you know, be charismatic, develop a personality. You like you. It's not strictly like you just judged off of something superficial like your looks. And then also, another reason, let me see. Oh, of course, we more logical than emotional. And we know how that works in life, being more logical than being emotional. How that benefits you, because a lot of reason women make a lot of bad decisions. I'm sorry. And most of the time it comes down to them being emotional versus logical. So that's another benefit of being logical. So now getting in, I guess more in depth to it. So, cause y'all might not, you might be like, well, is that really a benefit compared to what we have to go through? And to me, it really is. Like, so getting more in depth into it. And then I don't know if I'm gonna make a video about the disadvantages of being a man or the disadvantages of being a woman, because there is some, but in a way you can just look at the opposite of what I'm saying in this video. So getting into age, like I was already saying, is that as a man, you can have kids, you know, like I think Al Pacino had kids in his 70s, 80s. Like, you know, it's men that have kids in their 50s, 60s all the time. Yes, you don't want to have kids that old, because you, of course, might want to see your grandkids or see your kids be grown, but, you know, you still have that option. We know for women, you know, it's hard for them to have kids. You know, yes, some women have had kids at 40. I think Ashanti might be 40 finna have her first kid. And, you know, but for the most part, we know that most of the time it's a high risk pregnancy. We know that you know, once women hit like mid to late 30s, you know, the chance of them have a kid diminish, and it becomes harder for them to have a kid. And that's a big thing when it comes to relationships and, you know, being, you know, on earth is to have kids. So men, we don't have that clock. We can have kids, you know, later in life than women can. And then also as a man is that what we value by, which is stability and stuff like that, we know, and mainly stability, we know that that comes later in life. That women get their stability, like women desire, which we know, money and stability, which we all crave and desire. But we know on average, most men, unless you in the NBA or, you know, lucked up and, you know, struck it gold and maybe won the lottery or started a good business, and in your 20s, most of the time, men and women, you're not gonna hit your financial peak until you in your 40s, 50s, you know, 60s, or whatever like that. So that's benefit us, because women, like a 40-year-old woman, just because she got her money together, we know that that don't matter, because most men don't care about a woman's money. Like, we just don't. Women are judged by their looks more so than how much money they got, just like men are judged more so by how much money they got than they looks. So that ends up benefit us. A 40-year-old man and a 40-year-old woman, the man is actually gonna have more options if he have his stuff together, because a woman is not gonna be at her physical peak no more when it comes to beauty. Because even if she do look good, which some women do still look good in their 40s, 50s, they still ain't look as good as they did in their 20s. It's just as simple as that. And that's why usually younger women date older men, and then older men typically date younger women. It's just the way that it goes. So, and that's why a lot of older women be complaining about men dating younger women, because they know that their options then became limited. And then also, by the time a woman get 40, she got multiple kids, you know, 2, 3, 4 kids by then, maybe by multiple men 9 times out of 10. So, you know, that's already a strike against her, you know, already got kids, can't really have kids no more. So if she don't already have her husband, you know, it's be a wrap, you know, most of the time. Yes, like I said, this no all in anything. I know that there's some 40, 50-year-old women who still do get married, but we talking about majority of the time. And then 9 times out of 10, they not getting married to the dude that they wanted to get married to. They just basically, you know, settling for the, you know, I'm sorry, the sucker dude, because now, you know, I've been seeing a lot of these relationships to where, you know, it's dudes who really didn't get women like that throughout their life. Now they doing all right. And, you know, this girl, you know, basically like Boyce Watkins. I'm sorry if y'all know who that is. I heard his story. I used to follow him a lot. He's a smart dude or whatever. But if you know his story, he a classic case of that. He wanted to date this girl when he was in college, and they was in college together, and she didn't date him, and she went on to get married and had kids by another man. And now they got married in their 40s, or I think they might even been in their 50s. She, you know, finally married them, like something like that, to where the woman wouldn't have wanted you in her prime in her 20s, but now that she old, now she wants you. And some men still marry that woman, you know, or whatever. But, you know, outside of that, a lot of women don't have their options. A woman had to make the smart decision of finding a husband in her 20s, and, you know, they just stand together. So, you know, that's a big thing. You also, when it comes to men, like, we able to live and ball later on in life, 40s, 50s, get to enjoy our life, you know, if you put the work in. And then speaking into the second reason, now that we off the age, is that putting the work in, like I said, is that everything that you got as a man, you had to work for and you had to sacrifice. And you know that, and you get the luxury of knowing that ain't nobody give you nothing. Like, you know, like you had to get it. Like it hits different when you got it on your own. And we know this. And most of the time the men have to get it on their own. And then also you gotta look at it too, is that regardless of what women say about them being smarter than us and claiming that men is broke, men still have more money than women. Like, women need to cut that out. Most billionaires and millionaires are men. There's more men billionaires than there are women, and there's more men millionaires than there is women. You can easily look it up, and it's not even really close. Like, for real. Like, I like men billionaires and millionaires got to be like, we talking about like a good gap. Like, it's not even close. And because I just had to tell like a woman this, like, and then it just so happened to be a black woman also, like, oh, we doing better than black men. I'm like, if we count athletes alone, the NFL and NBA players alone got more money. Like, them thousand, however many players in the NFL and NBA, they got more money alone than all the black women. Like, stop it. Like, come on now. And then that's not even counting, like, you know, people like, you know, but like all, you know, like Oprah, you got Oprah and Rihanna, if you want to count her as black, as being billionaires, but you know, as far as men, we got Jay-Z, Diddy, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Dr. Dre, like, you know, the dude, what's his name? Robert Johnson, I think his name is. Like, you know, like, it's more, and then Kanye messed that up, but you know, he was up there. So it's like, you talking about like 5-1 or 5-2, like, you know, like, it's not even close. And then there's no women organization or women field that's getting as much money as the NBA players is getting. But you know, that's just another subject for a different day. But you know, like, so we still, and then we still got all of the leadership roles and society. We still the ones who um, most of the Congress is still men. There still hasn't been a woman president. Most nations are ran by men. Like, we know this. Like, we still run stuff, and we the ones that build stuff. We the ones that building these buildings, building these houses, coming up with most of the inventions. Like, we the ones that's doing all of the work. So you got to remember that, like, we make the world go round. Like, women have kids and raise the children up, but we the ones that keep society going. 9 times out of 10 and doing most of the stuff. We the ones doing construction and all of this type of stuff that really electricians, plumbers, all of that stuff is majority men. Police officers is majority men. Like, firefighters is majority men. Yes, there are women firefighters and police officers, but there's more men in them fields than there are women. That's common sense. So you got to remember that, like, we put in the work and we make the world go wrong despite what women say. And then next, like I was saying, if you're religious and you believe in God, is that if you know the Bible, like all of the sayings that I just said before, is that God made men in his image, and women came from us, not the other way around. They were supposed to be a helpmeet to us. They put on this earth to help us. That's what you got to remember. That's what God said. And a lot of women is religious, but the real religious women know that what the Bible say is that the man is the leader. All of this, I am the table and women is the prize and all of that. No, if you're religious and you believe in God, that's not what God says, flat out. And then on top of that, how are you the prize and everything when, like I said, is that the men, we the ones that making everything go. The house that y'all love, the car that you drive is made by men. Without men, women, y'all wouldn't have like most of the stuff that y'all love about life, y'all wouldn't even have. Literally. Y'all not built out here. Y'all not about to build no houses and build skyscrapers and become plumbers and become all of y'all start y'all own like, cause y'all don't like getting y'all hands dirty. Which as a woman, that's not what y'all supposed to do, cause y'all the weaker vessel. But y'all need to understand that. And then also that's coming down to protection, is that we protect y'all. Y'all don't protect us. If stuff jumps off, men is gonna have to protect y'all. Y'all not like, let's say that aliens is real and aliens popped off. Women, y'all not finna defend the world. Like, come on now. Like, men gonna have to put our life on the line. Men fight majority of the wars. Like, like you gotta know this as a man. And then next, being logical versus being emotional. That's why men being raised in single mother households, what happened a lot is got men emotional, but that's why a lot of dudes is killing each other and in jail. But if you an actual man, which we know a man supposed to be, you supposed to be logical, meaning that you supposed to make good decisions. Women most of the time make bad decisions because they emotional. Like, that's why most women pick the wrong dude, have the wrong baby father, always picking the wrong man, making impulse buys, impulse decisions. Like, women notice, if women and witness women throughout their life, women make a lot of bad decisions. It just is what it is. And that's why women need to understand that they need a man for guidance, because women they just do stuff based off feeling. And we know that can screw you 9 times out of 10 when you not doing anything logically, which is based off of, thinking and using, like, facts and, and the probability of things. You just, oh, I feel this type of way, so I'm just going to do this, not caring about what results you might get. So you got to know that, like, we logical. So as a man, you should be making better decisions than a woman has. And you shouldn't be, and when you emotional, that's 9 times out of 10 when you messing up in life. So you got to keep that also in mind. And that's what I love the most, is being logical and being able to see, okay, this don't make sense. Let me do this the right way. Let me do this, versus just women just, oh, I feel this way, so let me do this. Oh, I know I'm broke, but I really want this bag, or I really want this off of Amazon, so I'm gonna buy it anyway. Like, like stuff like that, I'm glad that I don't have to deal with. And then also a couple other little small points is that, obviously, as a man, you should be glad you don't have to get no period once a month. Like women do say, I am happy I don't have to deal with my having cramps and bleeding out my dick or wherever, for 3 to 5 or 7 days. Like, yeah, of course, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. Glad I don't have to deal with childbirth, and then even just the simple fact, like I always said, that women got it bad. Just imagine if you're a woman and you have to deal with some dude getting you pregnant and leaving you. Like, that's traumatic. Like, I would hate that. Like, got pregnant, you had to carry this baby for 9 months, gave birth, and now you just on your own. And the dude just got on and lived his life. And then you have to give birth, go through all of that pain and stuff. Like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. Even though women lead majority of the relationships, women ultimately, and I think I heard one other guy say this, like women don't realize that they ultimately have it harder in the end. Like they think they got it better, and as men, we think they got it better because they always find some simp. It's always a dude they talk to, no matter how many kids or what a woman do. There's always gonna be a dude to come along and try to save her, but she knows that if she's not able to get a man, because despite what women say and think, having kids do lower your options and your value. Yes, you can still get a man, but you don't know if this dude just trying to smash you, if he really trying to be a stepdad and really be with you for real. Like that's why women get confused when dudes still try to talk to them, that means that somebody trying to be with them. Now, women, 9 times out of 10, the man probably just trying to sleep with you, which I was getting to with the beauty thing, is having to always deal with, okay, the opposite sex only dealing with me to get sex. Like, I would hate to have that feeling that every dude I meet, most of them is just trying to sleep with me and don't care nothing about me for real. Like that's what women have to deal with. And then what else? Small little things. I mean, that's really enough already. And I might make a part two. I don't want to make this video so long, but I think that's, some reason for y'all to really think about. Like y'all just need to stop. And it's sad to say, because a lot of times men suffer when you do give yourself to a woman. Like when you fall deep in love and you want to get married and you just think that this woman is different and changed, 9 times women are great actors. That's when men really kill. If I had to ask myself why a majority of men commit suicide, I guarantee it's behind a woman. Some of it just like, drugs or depressed on other stuff, but I would say a good 60 to 80% of men who commit suicide is because they wife or girlfriend left them, or they just feel like they can't get no girls or something like that. I do think that that's a big reason for sure that most men do. And that's why as a man, you got to be logical. Like I said, like we all love women, we all like sex, all of that, but you can't let that control your life and feel like a woman is the end all be all. You always have to keep it in mind. And that's what changed me, is that a woman can wake up tomorrow and leave you. It's messed up to think like that, but you gotta, you can't be like women, because that's how women think. Just the grass is green. Like, women just jump into stuff thinking that being optimistic, thinking that everything gonna go well. As a man, you have to be 2 steps ahead. You gotta have a backup plan, especially with dealing with women in this time, with their fickle minds, and knowing that women divorce 70% of the time. You have to know that if a relationship ends, 9 times she gonna be the one that leaves you. So for you knowing that, you should know that you can't never really give it your all like that. And you got to be expected for that. And then we know that women are emotional, so it don't even have to be nothing that you did. She could just be bored or just tired of the relationship. So you need to just keep that in mind. Also, and that's really come down. And as a man, we have to put in the work. I know it's hard sometimes, and we struggle and don't nobody care about us and all of that type of stuff. It is messed up. Everybody cry when mama die and care about their mama, but that's why as men, and I always say that we need to stop being simps, and because we the ones that cape for women more than women, save their own self. Like we be the ones want to be knight in shining armor and put women on a pedestal and to down another man. As men, we do need to start sticking together and knowing each other's struggle and fight for your brother. Like if your dad died, unless your dad was a piece of shit, cry as much for your dad dying as your mom dying. Like pay respect to him, because 9 times out of 10 he had a harder life and had to go through more. So, we need to start showing more respect towards men, for sure. And, and don't be like, help your brother. Help, like men need help too. Like, sometimes like, don't be, scared to help somebody, help another man if he's struggling or, something like that. If he's a good man and a good dude, like we need to stop being envious and jealous of each other, because we already got society, the laws against us. A lot of women is against us. So if we against us too, that's why it's like that, to feel like as a man, you just isolated and stuff like that and don't have nobody. So that's my video. I just wanted to speak to the men real quick and say, there are benefits to being a man, and don't, be proud to be a man. Like I said, especially if you believe in God, know that he made you in his image and know that you make the world go round. We the ones out here putting in the work and doing this stuff for the most part. And I'm on.